Are you feeling bogged down or despondent? Has a friend or loved one noticed you look withered? Then Phyrexius may be right for you. Phyrexius is an all-natural Phyrexian supplement that can give you a different outlook on life. Do not take Phyrexius while enchanted, equipped, or have shroud. Players taking Phyrexius should not man vehicles for at least 3 turns. Avoid contact with humans or merfolk if you've had a recent gut shot or have had any interactions with the graveyard. In extreme cases, exile may occur. Ask your alchemist if Phyrexius is right for you. Available at Moros's Market. Welcome. Hey, it's me. It's been a while. Had a big break, a lot of personal news, new decks and such, but the biggest issue I'm having right now is I didn't see my feed correction little screen. So if you're out there, please let me know that you're in the chat and we'll get the show started. Otherwise, I might have to reboot here. Anyway, today we're going to be taking out this burnt cookie or evil cookie, or I like to call it Cookie Delight through a private joke of my brother and mine. We've got 60 cards, obviously. 18 of them are lands, but this really leans heavily on the Undying Evil mechanic and Unearth and Gingerbrute to just kind of keep things going. Disruption. All right, is everything sounding and looking good, my friend? Like I said, my little correction feed was just kind of stalled, and I was like, well, can't really risk everything. So I guess as long as you're hearing and seeing me, give me a thumbs up if you can. Disruption, that'd be cool. Then we've got 4 Vault Skirge, 4 Augur of Skulls, more on that later, 3 Verdicts, 4 Bloods, 4 Verdicts, 4 Bloods, 4 Snuff Outs, 3 Okiba-Gang, all 4 Fairies main, and Crypt Rats. That rounds out our... Okay, good. Thank you for that disruption. So the deal with this deck is, I've had various iterations of this. Gingerbrute really helps it against burn and such. This is... who was it? Power T, I believe Dan Horning from MTG fame in the past, especially with MTGO Strat, really helped bring out Trinket control way back, like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And I got to looking at that list, and, he's got Sign in Blood for the Mole Drifters. You can kind of keep this mono color. What's really cool is this. I've been having a lot of fun with this deck because you're able to make people discard when it's relevant. If you have a discard spell, that's great, unless your opponent's hellbent. It's like the biggest caveat with anything to do with discard elements. So what's really cool is, if you haven't seen the combo before, beginning of turn 3, you pitch this, but before you do, you put Undying Evil on it, and then they lose 4 cards. That's why we're running Unearth too. We're able to get a lot of things back. Snuff Out used to be in the sideboard against mono black. Yeah, I hate it. You can get kind of chittering rats out, but it's just so effective against other things in the tempo coming up. Also of note, you can discard Faerie Macabre with no targets turn 1 and unearth it. So a 2/2 flyer on turn 1 isn't too bad. We've got 3 resets in the Crypt Rats here. This guy's just really growing on me. It was cute and fun, then it went to fun and interesting. Now it's just fun and kind of wicked. It's been making a few lists here and there, but the ability, there's a lot of evasion here. If you look at it, we got Gingerbrute, we got Vault Skirge. This, late in the game, you don't really care if they're discarding stuff. You just got a permanent blocker on the ground. And because everything has evasion, we're running 3 Okiba games. I tried 4 for a while. Didn't work out so well. Not that greatest thing to clog your hand with early, so I put the 4th one in the sideboard. Speaking of sideboards, here we go. You love Trinket. That's nice. Hey, that's awesome, Disruption. Well, we're not going to be... The new, like the last month or two, we've been playing Pauperganda has kind of gone into a hibernation of sorts as far as both personal life. I've got a lot of things going on. That's why we got our new date and time on Saturdays. Got a great new job. It's awesome. More on that later. But the, what was I going to say? Oh, we were starting to get ghosted so heavily that it was just kind of like throwing money into the fan. So like what might have been like a 3-2 or even a 4-1 outing was easily like a 2-3 oftentimes. And I heard it was about, I think it was a total of 4 people, all within like, it was a windfall. It was all within like a couple of weeks. They're like, hey, did you know blankety blank was ghosting you? I'm like, oh my gosh. So because of that, we're just kind of playing the casual room, show off ideas, keep it light, fluffy, and I'll keep my tournament outings, the very few they are, because I've been so busy lately. I'm almost never on the computer. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, sideboard. We got 1 Okiba-Gang, 2 Tendrils. Burns can be a rough matchup. 1 Crypt Rats to round out the 4. Victim of Night shows up here. Just a nice instant answer for just about everything. 4 Relics and 4 Vampiric Links. These are really good with Crypt Rats. You can gain like 30 life in one swing. It's pretty crazy. So we're going to minimize this, do this. We got Cookie Delight loaded up. A little homage to my brother there. And we'll create this, and hopefully we can... oops, got a little bouncy screen here. Let me reset everything here. Make it nice and pretty. Here we go. Do we have this? What's going on here? Where'd it go? Where's my match? What's funny, too, is I have been editing Twitch game shows at my new job for the Disney Channel, of all things. They have a Player XD show, and so it's like I'm learning. I'm watching other people, you know, not so much on Twitch, but most of the time, yeah. A lot of fun. Okay, so we've got a really defensive hand and no creature, so we're going to mulligan this. Throw this out. We'll keep this. And let's see, we don't really need Crypt Rats. We've got double verdicts. I'm going to throw out the old Crypt Rat here, and we'll hope for the best here. Done. I'm just glad the signal came through all right there, Disruption, because like I said, it's been a little bit since I tried anything out, and I hit it, looked up, and I was like, ooh, I don't see any signal coming through, so hopefully everything works out all right. All right, well, it looks like we're definitely going to be the aggro here. So what's neat about having Vault Skirge, you can pay for it with your life, and by being a mono black deck, we can actually just pay for it too. So morning, Soshi, good to see you. Yeah, I don't expect there to be much of a crowd today just because of our new date and time. This will be our new date and time for the foreseeable future. Excuse me, too much coffee. Yeah, Saturday mornings, get a little bit of our European, Brazilian, and Italian friends in the mix. As long as our co-pilots Shirazamon and Little Fight, if they show up, they probably forgot that today was the day. So, all right, let's swing in here. We've already got Okiba. We're really looking for some more lands here. Good news is, see a Sanctuary. We're holding a Macabre. That's pretty cool. We don't have to play it, but, you know, a 2/2 flyer is nothing to sneeze at. It's good times. And one of you on Facebook corrected me, not corrected me, kind of, you know, poked a little, and it was very well deserved. I had Costly Plunder in here for a while and ran vaults, and I had, you know, a little bit more artifact presence. And somebody made the comment it was a little cute over Sign in Blood, and you know, and I really looked at it, they were right. It was. It's you can always cast Sign in Blood. The other one was a little too situational. Felt a little more organic to the build, but you know, that's what First Brews are all about. So this is trying pretty hard to be in Captain Control here. But one of the other things I need to mention is even with main deck Macabres against decks like the one we're facing off against, there were often times, oh come on, I really need another creature here. I mean, another land. There were often times we really needed a bog, so I made room for about 4 of those. I'm not quite sure here what the right play is. I think I'm going to cycle Unearth right now. I'll try to hit my land drop now. If I do, I can still play the Scourge. I don't think we're going to have to be worried about being burnt out here. Plus, we're gaining a life every turn. Nope. All right, well, we're that much closer to our next land. We do run 18 lands. 15 of them are basics. The rest are bogs, if memory serves correctly. All right, well, there's that. Probably a ninja coming our way next turn. Going to be a ninja festival. And just to show you, I've been out of touch for about 3 weeks, and so I haven't just tinkering here and there. But you know, I've been so busy with work. Actually, when I get home, the last thing I want to do is be on the computer. So I haven't been playing all that much, but I know right after I went on my little hiatus, Astrolabe got banned. And if you're a fan of the show and you remember, we have had a few of those go down as far as, let me put out these guys. We're going to probably meet with another spell stutter here. That's fine. We had the little Zoltar Oracle. We're going to be at 12 life just to try to get out a little flyer. Who about, 3 months ago or something predicted, maybe 2 months ago, Astrolabe will soon be banned, was the little card that came out. And then it turned out to be true. It's not the one I wanted banned. I was always in the ephemerate Ghostly Flicker camp. And as time went on, I really started seeing the argument of keeping Astrolabe fine There's a lot of good stuff decks out there, but playing with things on an even playing field seems pretty fair compared to somebody being able to just kind of take infinite turns and play the best spells over and over again, as we're looking right across to Mystic Sanctuary. We are going to lose this one. Even if I draw a land here, we've just been locked out of lands a little too much. No, all right. I'm just going to roll here. Stop the bleeding. If we had one more land, we'd have plenty of blockers all day. Be able to maybe trip the rats for one and verdict. But we're on about a 2-turn clock. A little more, but just assuming that they're going to do something there. I like the Okiba count here. I'm going to bring in the rats. Probably take out one Undying Evil. But other than that, I kind of like where this is at. Vampiric Link, not so much. Not so much. Maybe one of these for a Snuff Out, just for a little life gain trigger there. Drew really clunky there, but that's another reason I'm glad I'm not buying into tournaments anymore, because so many times I would have outings where it's like, you've done it before, right? Where you add 4 lands to a build or something. Like this should probably be running 17 and we're running 18, and we got stuck at 2, even though we were able to cycle and sign in blood and all these things. So what are you going to do? And now we're stuck at 1 with we're going to mulligan that. All right, we got 2. We'll keep. Lead off with the Augur. We got our nice little combo here. We'll keep this. Yeah, stuff will probably get countered. And if it does, I want to be able to bring it back from the dead. I'm actually going to get rid of Sign in Blood here. Done. We'll drop the Bog. This way I've got multiple plays if they got a really counter-heavy hand. It's probably just going to get bounced realistically, but then it'll get countered, and then we'll unearth it. So, good times. Oops! Hey, it's asking me to do something, and I'm sitting here being a chatterbox. Woo! Here we go. And I know I'm down quite a bit of weight if you've been following. It's been about 3 months now. I've been trying to keep a little exercise regimen, and when that wasn't possible, been definitely eating a lot less and better. So, but I haven't been on a scale in weeks, so be interesting to see where it all falls down. And if you're a UFC fan, tonight's the big battle of the street cred fight. They've got Nate Diaz and Masvidal. Boy, can't quite tell who's going to win that one. I mean, obviously, if it goes long, Nate Diaz. If it's Sunday punch, it's going to favor Masvidal probably. But Nate Diaz has never been really knocked out. I was thinking of that this morning. That he's kind of like a Tron deck, you can smack him, get him down to like 3 or 4, and he's fine with falling down. There's no ego. He gets knocked down a lot. He's never been knocked out. So love the hand evisceration. Yes. Oh, as do I. Here we go. And he's about to get down to 2 cards. What's cool is if we top deck a swamp, we do it again. So that's why I unearth Undying and Augur, and then if you force everything to complement it, it can have some really vicious outings. The last turn wasn't wasn't a good representation of what this deck usually does. So we're gonna sacrifice. Oops, see, I already screwed up. Supposed to put Undying on that first. I'm sitting here trying to narrate, talk about UFC things. All right, well that sucked. It should have been 2 more cards. We'll just do this and actually cancel that. Let me yeah, I am gonna do it because if he has a spell stutter sprite, I'd rather play a 1-mana spell now. And at least be able to be reactionary. Problem here is that'll probably cost me. If he's got any sort of snap mechanic here, then it's going to suck. But what do we care? We're just playing for fun. Good times. So if he does have a snap, here we go. We'll throw this on here. Well, we get his whole hand. We shall see. Doink. And a 2/2 regenerator isn't anything to sneeze at either, like some mono black control decks and such. You can run into those pretty fast all day long. Oh, hit okay. See what he loses. Hey, glad to see you too, Cisco. It's good to hear from you. Well, so he's gonna go down to 2 cards, so I might as well not trip it again. We've got a 2/2 here. That's fine. We'll just draw our hand. He's hellbent. Get rid of 2 counter spells. That feels pretty good. Let's see. Might as well just throw this out there. I can't really attack right now. And if his ninja shows up, we'll just be able to block and regenerate all day long. So that's pretty cool. If he hoards any counter spells, we can get rid of those. So outside of just getting crushed by Air Patrol, we'll be all right. Neat thing about Mantle of the Tides is Faerie Macabre, if they block it, isn't all that good, is it? Okay. That's a frustrating move, but in Amsterdam, we're ready to head back to Chile. Wow, Syscoms, cool. And if anybody's out there and you really like this new date and time, let me know. It's chancy because, you know, so many events and, like, I know TwitchCon and all that stuff's going on, and there's so many things that happen on the weekend. Obviously, it's usually the majority of the Earth's leisure time is spent then, and I was trying to be a little bit different with Fridays since I never worked them, but now I'm a working man again, so never been happier, though. It's really neat. I've worked nights for so long and odd schedules. It's very cool to go to work when most people are going to work. It does wonders for the psyche. It doesn't feel like I don't know how to say it. It doesn't feel like I'm at work. It feels like I'm just, contributing to the hive mind. I don't know. Strange stuff. All right. We better land one of these tendrils or we're going to be in deep crap. That's one of the only reasons I didn't want to play Bojuka Bog, because I wanted to be able to both fund tendrils and Snuff Out early and often. Not the case here. Here comes a 3-mana something or other. This is, what, a Fathom Seer, I would guess? Curious. Good to hear you. So it's funny, it's both better for both my co-hosts, and I think they forgot today was their day back, but not like it's going to be some backbreaker. It is 99.99 me behind the scenes. Oh, now we're getting flooded with our own tech here. Let's pass the turn. Getting nibbled by Faye up top. That'll suck. Technically, I can double block the morph, but I know it's a 1/3. It's just going to make me waste a card on it. Here we go. I'm not quite sure where I sit with Mantle. It does seem to be, once it's out, it's kind of like Bone Splitter. It's like, wow, but I don't know. Drawing it might feel a little underwhelming sometimes. Well, let's double block and see where he throws his allegiance. One card left. If he draws that, I'll be all right. What's he planning on doing? What, he's holding a snap or hoping to get one, maybe? Gonna morph that. Knew that was coming. Not too many other options in blue. Unless he's not running blue. Okay. Ooh, look at this. Alrighty. Well, we're going to really be able to kill that hand if all goes well. I want to bring this back. Then I'll regenerate this one. And we'll pass the turn. Upkeep. We'll be killing a bunch of hands. I'm gonna have 6 cards. Let's see where it goes. Plus, not being in the middle of the day, I won't lie. It was a little weird getting up and being like, "Oh my gosh, I've got like 1 hour left." It's like, what's going on? Okay, well there's that. I think I'll leave that dude there. I'll play our little shenanigans here. Get rid of the hand. Come on now. Here we go. We really got to draw another swamp to at least fuel our corruption there. And we'll do this again. Okay. Always like to have our opponent be hellbent. Like to be able to regenerate. Also like to be able to... You can't do much of anything there. Shoot. I'm going to sit back and... Hopefully he doesn't draw some bounce, but we can at least try to kill something here. Might be turning in right into another ninja. And I'd be lying if I said I was keeping real close track of the latest tournaments. Like I said, just so much change in my life right now. I've just been dabbling here and there, 1 or 2 games a day, just, you know, like this, kind of easing back into it. I was really expecting there to be a lot more upheaval in the format. And unfortunately, like I said, what about you guys? Everybody out there happy with the Astrolabe being gone? Now, if you follow Pauperganda, I've got a cool 5-color, what you call it, like a domain infect list. I call it just 5-color infect or whatever. I put in Metamorphosis over it and really liked it. Hey, Sneak Fast in the house. Thanks for joining us. Okay, well, what are the odds? He's got another Fae. He's got 2 counter spells in the yard. This is really my only way out here. Let's drop this. Where are our swamps? I've been having a lot of flood games, and this we were held at 2 and then 3. Yep, sometimes you got it all. All right, we're just gonna roll over, go off to game 2, see what's going down. That could have gone a lot better. Never got even to our 4th land. That was 2 frustrating games there, but like I said, it's just for fun, so it's all good times. Let me try that one more time, and we'll, see if it performs a little bit better. If it doesn't, maybe we got some work to do on it. I wouldn't play it in a tournament, but it is a lot of fun. All right, bouncy hands, here we go. Woo! Okay, now we're talking. Well, we've got a cookie, we've got a Fae. So I could unearth the Fae right out of the gates. We'll keep this. I don't think I'm going to, though, just in case they are on Tron or sort of a blink lock or whatever. It's nice to have. Yeah, Eckhart in the house. All right, good to see everybody. Now, people are starting to wake up. Who knows, maybe it's too early of a show, right? All right, here we are. Oh, careful not to click through that. So many. I think I've done that maybe 5 times since Gingerbrute's been out, where anybody else out there, you skip the attack, you're like, crap. You're just not used to things having haste in Pauper, unless you got mountains. For some reason, that visual cue seems to, let you know, like, hey, something's about to go down here. Okay, I'm hardwired in. I don't know why my internet started hiccuping there. And yes, I should attack first. Try to learn some good habits here. If not, teach them. Let's go. Oh, and I'm excited because the current war is out. It's the Battle of Tesla and, Westinghouse. They were buddies, but who am I trying to talk about? I'm actually glad I'm forgetting his name. Edison. And all the trickery there. So, heard some good things. Ratings not so hot, but what are you going to do? And there I go again, chatting too much and clicking right through what I'm supposed to do. Okay. Let's attack here. Yeah, this isn't a good chatting deck because of that upkeep phase. So many millions of times you click yes to the next thing and you forget that thing. All right, well, I can't do much there, and I still have Undying, so I'm going to exile nothing, and then I'll unearth it, and go from there. And start clicking slower. Note to self. All right, what do we got here? Oh, can't be regenerated. Okay, how's this read? Undying. Let's bring it back to life with this. Wow. It'll come back stronger. All right, 2 cards. Hey, that's kind of what it was there for, right? It's supposed to be a 2-for-1, though, not a 2-for-2. Looks like we're up against some sort of kill-all deck. And again, we're stuck at 2 cards. I'd normally immediately think I've got to remedy this, but I've had many a game where it's either just right or too many, thinking that I might actually go down to 17, but this is proving otherwise. So here we go. Even if we didn't have Geth's Verdict in our hand, the cookie can be sneaky and sneak by Mr. Rager with all that extra land that you usually have in games. So there's good times there. Here we go. He's waiting to see if we pump up anything. At least he's representing he's got a lightning bolt. And let's do this EOT. The Verdict of Geth. Okay. Let's attack. Hey, we got him on a 5-turn clock. Definitely going to lose Snuff Out. It's probably only black creatures here. Ouch. Can I do anything with this dude? Just activate him. Alright. Well, that's a little scary. These main deck Electrickery. This is probably just an all-in kill-it-all deck. Bad news for us. We're playing creatures. And here comes the life. Still on a 5-turn clock, darn it. And if you followed the evolution of this deck so far, one of the main things that I took out was actually Bone Splitters. Gave the deck some teeth and some finishing power, but I just needed more room for removal, which wasn't enough last game. It doesn't help when you get stuck at 2 or 3 lands in 2 games in a row. But now we're at 4. We're feeling all right. I can at least wipe the board. Let's see what we got here. Gingerbrute. Woo! I love this little man. Yeah, my brother and I from long ago, that's why I call this deck Cookie Delight. I needed a reason, right? We used to, cookies and milk, kids love it. Grew up doing that. Not all the time, but, movies or movie night, whatever. And so in our quest for always being more and more efficient, we just started filling up our glass with cookies first, and then we just pour milk in it and just grab a spoon and wait about a minute and start shoveling. And so we started just calling it Cookie Delight. So that's the story. It's not that long, actually. But try it. Saves you some dishes and dripping mess and stuff like that. Good times. Well, this is interesting. I can fly over with that and keep Gingerbrute alive and then crack the rats if I need to. This is an interesting play. Ooh, I like this. At least once I like this. I can't even do it yet though because I've got to I just got to get in to steal the Monarch here. It's a nice draw right now, but we're probably just going to have it Raven Crimed away. Da-da. Font of Return's an interesting option in a deck like this. Okay. And so here, like if we did have those multiple Undyings and stuff, a 2/2 Hasteable Cookie or a 3/3 Macabre, even a 2/2 Rat can get pretty brutal against a lot of decks out there. If you got a 2/2 Rat, it doesn't work the same as Clark Kent Shaman. You can, like you're going up against elves and you block with that Undying Evil, you got a 2/2 that just has Shrivel built into it over and over again. So, all right, so he's killing everything. We're able to live it up. We're going to get rid of Snuff Out. Let's see. A lot of stuff's going to be dying, so I want to keep this package. Keep. I like to keep the Crypt Rats in. I like those little reset value engines. 3 of those. I'm not quite sure if I want to do these or not. I don't want to really hoard anything in my hand, seeing the amount of discard he's got. That's why I'm actually going to add the Okiba just because I anticipate one of them getting nixed out of our hand. They are on death colors, so let's bring in a little bit of life gain. And I'm tempted to bring this in just to showcase it if people haven't seen it on Crypt Rats. It's brutal. It's such a fun time. But I'll just bring in one relic here. I'll probably trip it. And let me bring in 2 relics. We'll do this. Boink. Hey, Gilligan. Yes, it's Gilligan 1968. It was funny. I was just talking about Gilligan's Island the other day. There was a podcast I was listening to, and they were talking about show intros that tell the entire story, and Gilligan's Island was like the hallmark of it. It was like, it'd be like if Pauperganda was like, and this old bald guy sits right down and plays some Pauper magic, you know, something like that, where it's just like he drinks his coffee and wears glasses, something like that, you know. It was just a perfect example. Hey, that gave me an idea. Maybe I should make a new show intro. All right, we'll mulligan this. Yuck! Mulligan. I swear to you guys, this has 18 lands in it, and the curve stops at about 4. We've got the nastiness here. We've got draw. I'll keep it. Damn it. Get rid of this. Get rid of one of these. Done. Damn it. Ah. So yeah, discard an amazing ability in Magic. However, like what happened, I think last game, where, you know, if you're hellbent and the person's holding discard spells, it doesn't do anything. Whereas Augur, you've got a blocker permanently. I mean, 5/5 angler and stuff just bumps into this over and over again. As the game goes on, you just keep regenerating, and you can trip it when you need to. And as we've seen, I've needed to twice now and forgotten to because of Undying Evil. A thing I hope to remedy quickly. It's hard to beat muscle memory, though, when you think of the thousands of times you've clicked through your upkeep phase, and you've got that one exception, Augur of Skulls. Shahrazamon! All right. Let's bring out Augur. Let's attack and hope for the best. Let's watch, he's got the electricity, be like, no! See, it's one of the more challenging edits I've had to do is for this show. Oh, there it is. Is for this show called Player Select on Disney Channel, and it's pretty much all of this, like people streaming, playing games. I'm editing Jacksepticeye and a bunch of other like famous streamers, and it's one thing to watch one thing, but this is a show of like, you know, 6 streamers shoved together, and then I have to shove the show into a, you know, 60-second or 30-second promo, and it's pretty tough to do. Let's bring back the Augur, and I'll keep Undying open. I could get a little greedy here. Let's do that. Nope. It's you know, it's going to be really frustrating too. Is so I come back today, back from the hiatus and whatnot, and tonight at midnight here in the silly states of America. And I say that because we have this ridiculous thing called daylight savings time. And so it'll be off like a weird hour next week. So I guess best scenario, just pay attention because we fall back 1 hour. So it's going to be ridiculous. Next week, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of people showing up an hour late or an hour early or thinking I didn't show up. But yeah, not quite sure what to do about that. America's kind of weird. We've got this old farming mentality, and God, where are our lands? At least we won that one, so feeling all right there. Yeah, I just wish they would just get rid of that. It causes, and you know, I never used to think much of it or have much of an opinion about it until I started streaming, and it's like twice a year. It just causes so much upheaval because it's such an international community, and it's funny how that all works. All right. Let me see here. We've got the Fae. I'm going to bring out this dude because I don't have to pay for it. I might be able to, be able to Undying Evil and then turn it into the Okiba-Gang. The only problem sometimes you run into is a little clunkiness with, like, you feel like you're invested with Undying Evil and your creature getting a +1, and then you got to throw it back in your hand with Okiba. So it could be a little clunky there. I mean, I know there's some other options. So you want to, in this scenario, you always want to block first. So what I'm going to do, block. And then I'll Undying so that if he reacts to this, I can at least still prevent 5. Which looks like it's going to happen. Doink. All right, so he's out of card. We don't take 5. We're pretty much where we were. Yeah, it's spring forward, fall back. That's one of the only little sayings that always stuck in my mind there. Of course, you could always say fall forward and spring back. Here we go. Hopefully he's holding a bunch of Doom Blades. I doubt it game 2, but you can always hope. I live in Arizona at mountain time, so it never changes. Yeah, that's what the rest of America's got to do. It's really silly. Well, we can't just keep taking angler bashes here. We have drawn with Sign in Blood. Not many turns left to go here. The cookie shows up. Let's do this. Yeah, I could probably do that with the cookie. Let me just make this unblockable. My plans will be to block the Rager. Undying. It'll probably eat a bolt, but either way. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Apologies before. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Hopefully it wasn't a sonic blast. All right. Oh, and the life shows up too. I don't think we're getting out of this one. We got game 1. Looks like we're falling behind in game 2 here. Same thing. Block first. Then do our magic. Undying's a pretty cool combat trick no matter what. It's another answer for our answer. We prevent 2. And at this stage, our Cookie Man's going to have to sit back, block, and bite his own head off to gain 3 life. Does that cost 2 to do that? Oh, right after my own heart. Siphon Life, one of my favorite cards. Yeah, gain 3 life. Friend of a friend designed that card. Still love it. Well, Siphon Life really changes things. Yeah, it'd be so nice right now to attack, eviscerate his hand, but we're dead on so many angles here. Let's see what he does here. No delusions. We're definitely losing this one. Let's just see if we can live a turn. Ouch. Well, that's no fun. We'll throw back Okiba. Okiba! Let's get rid of the big boy. Block him here. Eat the rest here. Hey! Probably get a lightning bolt to the face in response. Nope. What? He ran out of removal? The cookie takes down the angler. Next level. But what I was trying to say, this editing other streamers all together, God, it's incredibly difficult because it's hard to have any cohesion of a story to come together, and without it just being just a potpourri of just madness. But seems like that's what kids are into these days. All right. But there's a cool new game. It's very rare that my youngest doesn't know about one of the games, but I was editing, what was her name? Elspeth. She's a streamer. And I was editing her stuff, and she was playing a game called Celeste. Very cool. I was pretty impressed by it. I'm going to bring in Vampiric Links. I'm going to lose 1 rat, 1 Okiba. You know, I'm going to lose the relics. Angler's going to happen. I didn't see many edicts. We saw Diabolic Edict, but not Chainers. That's not going to help. Vampiric Links, I'm going to bring them all in here because they act as like a black pacifism. Pretty bad one, but it keeps you from losing. But yeah, there's this cool little game, Celeste, that she's always playing, and it's pretty fun to edit that too. And a bunch of other ones. Actually, some of the most comical things are people playing games they're not familiar with. If you remember, about 2 or 3 years ago, I had my brother lovingly called, what did we call him? Still semi-cough. And he played one game of Burn. It was we taught him on the stream, and he won, and so he retired undefeated as the most successful Magic player ever. Wink, wink. Yeah, I want to play first. Semi-cough. Yeah, so every once in a while I'll give him a shout out, and that's what I'm talking about. But it's sometimes very entertaining to watch somebody that's never played the game. I'm sure I resemble that sometimes, especially with these upkeep terms in Augur of Skulls, but hey, I'm trying to wear a lot of hats here, so lay off me. Okay. Down. Here comes the Augur. Love when I got doubles. Double Augur is like when you have like double Squadron Hawk, and you know they're so eager to counter it, and you're like, here's the other one. Here we go. This might not be the best strategy against an Angler heavy deck, but we do have Vampiric Link in our hand. We'll bring this out. Whoop. Over the Augur, I'm going to favor just drawing cards if I don't draw a land here, which is what happened. Let's draw. Okay, we'll do that. Don't like to miss those land drops. Okay. Such a great card. I love Read the Bones. It's definitely turn of the seasons here. The whole state's on fire, and when it isn't, it's very cold mornings and evenings and pretty warm in the daytime. So it's kind of a strange time to be in California right now. Okay, well, I'm just going to bring this out. Maybe draw, Augur, if he draws a lightning bolt, it's like, well, he's kind of done half of his job, right? He's set out to discard 2 cards, but eating removal is part of his job. There we go. And we got to terminate to boot. So if we got another swamp here, we'll be able to keep the next one alive. Problem is, they are filling up their hand a lot better. Danger Mouse and Vampiric Link make the dream come true. Oftentimes. All right, here's part of the puzzle. Let's do this. Cut down some of those Night's Whisper draws. Yeah, Ransack the Lab. I remember just loving that, like, straight up. Oh, man. Exile it instead. But it doesn't say I can't regenerate it. Let's read this carefully. 2 damage. Let's regenerate it. Hey, look at that. Augur of Skulls still costs 2 cards. That's kind of cool. It's a terrifying card. Alright. Well, we got the answer for that. I won't use the cuteness. We'll just wait a few turns here. Let's throw this out now. We can still respond to another thing. Give him a little of his own medicine there. We got one of our oldest commercial breaks coming up in the numbers look around you segment. This is why I love Gingerbrute. If we draw Gingerbrute right now, it's going to be good times. Yeah, I think the better play here is not to play Verdict right now. Save it for the next Angler. Because if we don't draw Gingerbrute, we can just Tendrils here. There's Gingerbrute. So we'll do this now. The Cookie Man shows up. The Cookie Man can. Woo! It's almost like we were holding it and waiting for him to do that. We weren't, but I'm sure it feels that way on the other end. Oh, man. I so wish. How cool would Monarch be if it was like you still had a phase after you draw the card? It's like, yeah, come on. We got quite a bit of removal. Actually, we don't. We only got 2 pieces, but. And there's that. Let's throw this back. Not that painful for us. And here we go. Okay. Let's just do this now. Attack. Keep the Monarch. After that sneeze, my nose is all starting to get drippy. Sorry about that. Put a little color in the corner here. This scarf, I always cover up my mic because, you know, weeks go by, you don't want dust just falling in it. So neat little studio trick. If you've got a fancy scarf laying around, just throw it on your mic and then it'll last about 5 or 6 years longer than it normally would. Just little crackles and things like that. Pop filters can do it too, but you don't want to be breathing in dust all the time, especially when it's right next to your mouth. So this pro tip brought to you by absolutely nothing. All right. While I would like to play the Vampiric Link, we're still up on life, and I'm just trying to keep creatures off the board at this point. Keep our swing real. Sure, let's do this. You know what? I should probably block first, but who knows what weird scenarios. What is that called? Deviant Glee, I think, gives something trample and such. I think it's a Rakdos card, too. It's black and you can play red. Strange. That's right. Man. Oh, if I could only use that knowledge for something else. Well, I don't like to do it this way, but I'm going to play this just so he's got to trip it. Then I'll do this so we can gain a lot of life off of it. And we'll hope for the best. At least we'll gain 3 life off the Crypt Rat. If it gets real cute and pops everything for 4, we're going to gain a whole lot of life. Sneak fast. Yes, it wasn't the way we thought it was going to go down, but it still went down. Woo! The dream has been acquired, but it wasn't our dream. Dun, dun, dun. All right, Raven's Crime, there you go. Yeah, if you are going to go a spell with this card, that has always been my choice, because it's only there when you need it to be, similar to the Augur, but you're 1-1, playing for the win here against a Rakdos deck. Really got just steamrolled, but it was our deck doing it to us with just really crap draws. Well, all right. He's going to have to trip that regardless. They get the Monarch back. There's still 6 cards up on us, even though we had Monarch for like 3 turns. And, of course, this is when we draw all of our lands. Well, let's do this. Getting rid of Raven's Crime. We'll attack. Trying to get back Monarch, or drawing a card at least. Dun, dun, dun. And we gain a bunch of life. Not that much, though. But a surprising amount. Often have people throw a text up like, hey, why are you at so much life? It's like, well, that Crypt Rat hit a lot of things. Boy, against like elves or RDW, oh, it's so pretty. I've been at like 4 life, trip it for like 2 and just like 36. It's like black is not supposed to be able to do that. But it is indeed a dream, Sneak Fast. This is true. All right. Now this is when we want to have a Siphon Life, which I think was in my very first build of this, but clunky. They are playing Crypt Rats. I mean, Chittering Rats. So I'm just going to go with the naked play here. I'm sure it's not going to live to the end of my turn. Will it? Will it? Hey, it lived. At least till the end of his upkeep. Ah, there it is. Oh, so he does have edicts. All right. Stranger than fiction. All right. Now we're in a respectable life range. 17. But I'm kind of grateful for the whole flicker scare and everything. I'm just with the job and everything, I've been able to take a kind of a much needed creative break. Just put the pedals on, kind of revisit things from afar. And good times. This is when we really want the cookie, and why I used to love Bone Splitter in it, because at this stage of the game, a 3/1 with haste that's unblockable is pretty nasty. And here it comes. Boink. outside of getting a cookie and a really nice draw, I don't think we're going to be winning this one. Ooh, look at the respect for the cookie. Respect the cookie. All right. And next week, my oldest will be sleeping about 10 feet behind me because I use his room as my studio while he's off at college, but he's going to be coming back for the next few weekends, so I might have a very whispery podcast while he's sleeping behind us. I don't even know if it's worth doing that. I'll probably wake up regardless. I guess I could always move rooms, but that's a whole infrastructure thing. And before anybody asks, I have no idea where Little Fight's at. Our lives have often mirrored each other, and he got a good job, I got a good job, and then our phones kind of, we just kind of went into new gig mode. Look up 2 or 3 weeks later, and I'm like, man, I haven't even heard anything from him, so hopefully everything's all right. I'm sure it is. It is something very therapeutic about working when everybody else is working. We didn't catch the top of the show. I mentioned how this is kind of getting ugly here. All right, maybe we can eat some duress or something like that, respond to it. But I used to work at nights all the time, and it's always in a hurry to get back home because you feel like you're missing out. But man, when you go during the day and everybody's gone anyway, and you're like, wow, you look up, lunch is over, and you're like, I got a little bit more time, having a lot of fun doing what I'm doing. It's good times. I'm pretty grateful for that big break, even though it was a little stressful here and there. Didn't have to dip into savings at all. It was really awesome to have a lot of you out there. Fuji Purple, Stephen Wake, Jared Jill, Justin Lawson, Nichols, Sosi, Eckhart, Michael, Serinsky, Pauper Arbust, Olesh, Stephen Wake, Lovecraft 668, Hemper, MTM Tat, Someone, Nimchimsky, Into the River, Archammer, Hexen Rouge, Fun 18, Hodzen, SC3, the G, to name a few. Keeping the funds incoming. That was pretty cool, but it is, oops, hold on a minute here. It's just nice to be back in the land of living. All right. Look at this. Never surrender. Where's my Crypt Rat? Woohoo. Dun, dun, dun. Now we're going to be lightning bolt bait the second we trip this, but I will. Sleepy stream sounds fun. I should just start the stream with a close-up of my son drooling on his pillow or something. That'd be pretty funny. 4. We're going to go all in. If he's got burn, he's going to... Well... Did we eat the Siphon Life already? Yeah, we did. Pretty rare that he's going to have another one. Did we? Or was that last game? Where is it? Where's Siphon Life? That was last game, wasn't it? Well, that's going to impact things, isn't it? But I got to do it for 3 anyway. Might as well do it for 4. Let's go. Done. We're probably going to get bolted here or Siphon Lifed. Yikes. Don't want to see that. We need some of those, man. Come on now. Come on, Tendrils. Take a quick bathroom break after this. Get some more coffee. Use the restroom, and we'll be back. I'll show you guys the newest 5-color Infect list I've been running, because it looks like we're going to lose this one to Rakdos. It's just, I would just call this honest Rakdos. It's just the good stuff, man. No tricks. Instead of just some removal, you know. It's like, hey, these are good 2-for-1 cards. Good times. All right, well, we can at least steal this back. 3 life isn't going to get us out of the woods. We'll be just dead. You know he's got Terminate. He's waiting for it to tap, rereading the rules. Maybe we can get a Tendrils here. Only if it gets through, but we can't sack it in response. Ah, we're dead. All right. Well, that's Cookie Delight. Fortunately, it kind of crashed and burned. Lost to itself in the first one. Nice close loss there. Anyway, guys, we're going to run to one of our oldest things. I'll be back in just a few. See you in a bit.
What's the largest number you can think of?
100,000?
999,000.
A million.
In actual fact, it's neither of these. The largest number is about 45 billion, although mathematicians suspect that there may be even larger numbers. With so many different numbers to deal with, it can get a bit confusing. Unless you use maths. Maths stands for Mathematical Antitelharsic Harfatum Septomen. Think of it as the language of numbers, with 1 equaling A, 2 equaling V, 3 equaling hello, and so on. We use maths at almost every point of the day, whether we're working out how to thread our shoelaces, calculating the optimal moment at which to embark upon a conversation, or, if you can fly, planning your trajectory for the journey to work. But some situations require a much more thorough application of maths. Let's look at some examples. Have your pen and paper ready. Problem 1. Jean is shorter than Brutus, but taller than Imhotep. Imhotep is taller than Jean, but shorter than Lord Scotland. Lord Scotland is twice the height of Jean and Brutus combined, but only a tenth of the height of Milsey. Milsey is at a constant height of x minus y. If Jean stands exactly 1 nautical mile away from Lord Scotland, how tall is Imhotep? We'll reveal the answers to the problems at the end of the program.
A perfect brew every time. Dawnbringer's coffee. The rarest beans. Fire roasted. A 1 drop of perfection. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose bold, rich, legendary flavors. Choose Dawnbringer's coffee. The angel on your shoulder.
Available at all fine Sinclair superstores.
And we're back. Okay, Snuff Out is not in this list. Soulsfire is. So with the banning of Astrolabe, I looked at this deck again, and I didn't really suffer all that much. And in fact, there are times when it plays even better. I'll explain that in a second. Eckhart, you'll have to wait till the next show. Actually, I don't even remember what the answer is. I don't even think they get back to it. But so our curve stops at 3. We're running 18 in this as well. We've got Cave of Temptation, the Forest. I run 2 Gardens. I've been seeing the little bit I have been playing. I've been seeing a lot of mono black. So this is just our homage to Edicts, and it's a really good home for abundant growth to land on. You might see a lot of colors here. Well, between this, and this, we've got 12 ways to reach our mana, and most of it draws too. One of the coolest things about Metamorphosis over Astrolabe is in games too, a lot of times you'll have a scenario where your stuff's dead. Your stuff being the best thing, Blighted Agent, in your graveyard. You draw this, for 2 mana you can do this, and you pretty much come at them with about half their infected life total for 2 mana, and you draw a card. So it's been playing pretty fun. My sideboard's quite interesting here. We've got 4 piece for aggro, 4 macabre for any sort of shenanigans there. And actually, I have hardcasted these sometimes. Very, very rare. I think maybe once, maybe twice. The extra Soulfire and Verdant Longbow. These are good. You'll notice no gut shots or anything. This is just kind of all in. Sideboard's still back when Tron was everywhere and such. So I've kind of diversified my threats. I can deal with Standard Bearer. Takes a little bit with this or a Soulsfire, but it can work. And then 4 Masks of Long Grace. If you think about removal in Pauper, it shouldn't be any big surprise. 90% of it is black and red. Hey, look at last round, right? So without further ado, we're just going to jump right in here. We'll make sure that our deck list is correct. And if you didn't catch a few weeks ago show, one of my little tips, if you put these underscores on the decks you like to play the most, you can just have a lot. It's a lot easier to find. So we'll create and go like this. Should probably say Pauperganda, but hey, what are you going to do? Anyway, I took notes. Do what again, Shiraz? You guys talking about the? It's funny. Like I'll see these old. I tend to like ignore some of our oldest commercials. Probably Shirazamon's about the only one around that I'll remember some of them. So every once in a while I'm like, yeah, it's old, but man, I haven't played that in months. So. Oh yeah, the select trick. Yeah, so you just let's say you've got 3 favorite decks you want to play this week. You just rename them with underscores, and it shows up at the top. But you have to reboot Magic Online. You can't. You'll do it, and then you won't see it until you close out and come back in. So it's a neat little tech trick. Works in editing too. I mean, we've got this with some protection here. I'm gonna keep it. If I was playing money, maybe not. We've got 18. Let's see. We technically can protect it, enchant it. Yeah, the interfaces can be a little clunky, that's for sure. All right, what do we got here? Either Stompy or Elves, it looks like. Well, with Unearth there, I'm going to pull a little bluff action here. Just come on over. Let's go. I can always get an abundant and get back my dude. Save us some lifetime. If this is Elves, I don't mind trading. If it's Stompy, I don't mind trading at this point. So we still get in 1 Infect. And as long as we draw in some lands here. Standard theory would be, don't do that. But we need to buy time. And against Stompy, time walking for a turn, adding an Infect counter, slowing down maybe a Pit Sulk double draw. Good stuff. Yikes, don't like this. Hey, I gotta point the finger right back at me, or the 3 fingers pointing back at me. I did keep a 1-lander, so. Well, this will be fast if we don't get an answer here. Why would he do that? Somebody's got somebody did it in the wrong order. All right, so they have Hunger of the Howlpack. All right, I'm going to fold up shop here to stop the bleeding. That's 3 turns away. Let's go on in here. I mean, unfortunately, they know we're on Infect, but let's rock like this. We're going to take this out. I'm going to bring in all of these. I found Unearth to be incredibly good against Stompy. This last game, I'm going to bring out one of these. Tempted to take out a one Glistener Elf. We got this. Go like this. Yeah, Elephant Guy Boy. Remember when Dissonance, what was that, like a year and a half ago? He was the first one, if my memory serves, he was the first one to put it in a list that did well. Just another great example of, it's like the card's always been there, people. It always takes somebody to step out of line first and everybody go, oh, hey, that's kind of a good idea. We'll keep this. Hey, we got 2 lands. We got 2 draws. We're all right. I just hope that I can show you guys that Metamorphosis trick, because it's about 50-50. I mean, yeah, you like that. Abundant Growth's great because, you know, you always have a color available. But, and same with Astrolabe, you know, it's like once it's out, okay, your colors are good. We've got a few of those, but the acceleration of Metamorphosis takes care of the card draw, and there are some scenarios where it is better. I'm going to pay one of these now. I just want to make sure I hit my land next turn. I'll say, I usually mix it up, but I'll say green on that. That's fine. I'll bring this out. Reckless Charge, such a good card. And Infect builds. Pretty much makes everything like a double giant growth with haste. That's pretty impressive for an Infect deck. I figure it's going on a 1/1, that's almost half their life. Here we go. I'm going to need it too if we're going to beat this draw. All right. Yeah, we're going to need... So here's the scenario. Like if I draw Unearth right now, I just, even without another mana, I Manamorphose for black-red. I bring back Ichorclaw, give it haste, and I swing for 4 Infect damage. So that Nettle Sentinel is going to be a 1-1 after this turn. Nice little upside of playing Infect. All right. Well, maybe we'll draw it here. This stage of the game, I'm going to double caves. I don't mind enchanting one of them. If I got the option, usually I try to lay off of them because you do want to pitch this turn whatever and up. Ugh. Well, our mana's right, so let's try to draw something here of substance. I'm gonna say black red. I mean, yeah, black. Let's say black green. All right, here we are. We can win from out of the blue like no other deck with this thing, but like most, you got to treat it like a combo deck. There's plenty of times it'll fizzle too. What's fun is when people don't give it any wide berth or respect and they just keep turning things sideways. And you can see from our hand here, it's like after we trip the seal with protection from green, and we'll crash in for the win here because the seal, 2 reckless charges, that's 9 plus the 1/1 body. That's 10. So this is just out of the blue. Problem is, if we don't draw something real quick, we're going to be dead ourselves. That doesn't help. not a good welcome back today, is it? For what it's worth, I am a little out of practice. All right. So we have to win this turn. And we can't. If Cave was enchanted, we had access maybe like to a, yeah, even then a Glistener Elf, we'd still have to trip the Blessing. Yeah, brutal. Down to 1. That Infect saved our life and cost it. Oh, well, hey, we got a little time savings here. Forgot about that. Love me some Moment's Peace. Normally what Infect hates is you want to have enough cards, but then you don't want to get flooded. But Cave of Temptation and the flashback and just stuff to do with your mana, this deck usually feels really good. We'll play it again after this, and hopefully it doesn't bomb out like our last outing. Let's see here. We'll go like this. Sorry, Deluxe. You are spitting audio versus Eternal Weekend, and my heart still belongs to Legacy. Oh, I thought you meant when I saw the splitting audio. I thought you said spitting. I was like, oh no, is my pop filter not working? But that's fine. We're just here for the creativity of the format. Keep things rolling. Try to entertain y'all. All right. Mana's close. He's keeping that Eldrazi spawn back. I hope he doesn't. Yeah, I haven't been on Arena in probably 3 months. For a while there, my youngest was playing as me, but he goes in and out of Pokemon, and now his high school is doing a Super Smash League, and he's leading the charge. He's kind of the guy to beat, so he's always practicing that. So, all right, don't like to see that. What do we need here? We need a top deck Moment's Peace and Blighted Agent. And hope he doesn't draw a gut shot, because that'll end things real quick. Good for them, not turning everything sideways. Just come at you with what you need. All right. Rock here. And this will help, but it's not going to do much of anything. All right. We'll try another game and see what goes down here. Believe it or not, oftentimes against Stompy. Actually, no, that was my old notes. Never mind that. Mr. Blue wins it. All right. Off to another. Let's create this, and hopefully we can play a little bit better. I flat out lost that one. Me, not the deck, because of the that first game, but that was just Stompy. Getting back in the swing of things here. Thank you for joining me as always. New date and time. All right, we got triple draw technically. Early start. I will keep this one. This is the one lander I won't blame on me if I lose this. I mean, obviously it's me, but I'll point more at the deck. I'm going to lead off with the elf just in case we're going up against some slow control deck. Need every point of turn we can get. And we draw into another land, then we can enchant Rancor. Good times. For right now, we'll make them think we got something more than we do. How's everybody's Halloween? I went out and scared a few, not nearly as much. We're in a new place now, so our neighborhood was a lot more quiet. Hey, look, it's a free infect damage. It was a little too warm. I'm going to favor fixing over aggression here. Our Glistener Elf's not going to last too long. Yeah, I could hit for 3, but I'd rather do this and then hit for 3. Let's do that. Now this way, when the scenario comes down, hopefully you guys can see it, we'll be able to reckless charge a Blighted Agent. That's a lot of fun. And Metamorphosis, it's so helpful being able to do any combination of colors, because that 3rd or 4th turn you can really get flexible, whereas Astrolabe in the same spot helps, definitely, and it consistently helps, but you can get to that attrition stage where the Metamorphosis, it's really down the board. It's and hopefully I can showcase that today and show you guys. All right. Well, our mana's right, so I'm going to do this real quick. First of all, let us say green-red. So we can at least do something with both. All right. Let me pull this here. I think we're going to be trading here pretty quick. And since we have 2 reckless charge, I'm going to just use 1 now. Nothing to sneeze at. We don't really care about the life gain on Seeker, just the hard-hitting abilities there. I like me some Legacy too there, Soshi. Like I said, I owe everything to Pauper. I built up enough of a little greedy pile of gold coins, and once in a while, especially back when I used to compete a lot more and be more like the grinder, like Carves or Hellsaw and all the dudes from Brazil are now, used to just kind of get after it. And then, you know, you get to a point where you're like indefinitely just like, well, I'm set here, let me sell this. And then you like, what am I going to do with this? And so it's only 1 or 2 times I turned it in for actual cash. The rest of the time you go and you catch things on an upsell. And so I've got like a modern and a legacy collection just because of Pauper. And I ain't the best player out there by a long shot. If I can do it, y'all can. But it's not going to be by playing Rogue. That's my other vice, my favorite thing. All right, so now we really want a Unearth, because we'll have Vastwood back up and Reckless Charge to seal the deal. So our only mana issues have been the amount of mana. 18. I really like this build. It's probably one of my favorite Infect decks ever. It just kind of feels like a little bit of a candy store, meaning that I've just got access to everything. I'm just gonna, come on, I've right clicked so hard over the years with my mouse. My mouse doesn't like me to click gently. It's always, I have to press super hard. Getting my tea in the background, sorry. Just want to make sure I don't spill. I've got all my audio gear pretty close by, not the smartest move. All right, here we are. Temptation shows up. All right. Well, we just win here, right? Let's go nice and slow. We play this to this, and then we throw red on it. Doink, doink, doink. Nighty night. Out of the blue, your little reset turn doesn't work. Splat. Love me some Blighted Agent. Woo! All right. Taking down, what is it? Agroboros? I think that's the one with more of the artifact lands. If that's still a thing, who knows? Well, against this matchup, Soulsfire's okay. I tend to not respect Standard Bearer till I see it. So many lists have it, don't have it. But I will keep one of these in. I'm going to lose one of these, both Rancors, 2 Reckless Charge, because they kind of conflict with Mask. The majority of their deck is here to kill that. Let's see. Go all in with that. We'll keep 1 Rancor. So our only out for a early standard bear is this. You know, you can always throw this on their standard bearer, and then you can do this. But I used to take out just one of these or none. There's just too many times in this matchup against, red-based removal decks. I just kind of sit there and love this, but it does flashback. So we'll go like this and see what helps. But, I mean, we're looking at 11 spells between Vines, Mask, and Apostle's Blessing. It's pretty cool. Sneak Fast, I don't believe I did. Actually, I'm sure I did, but I don't think I ever streamed about it. It just seemed like a little too greedy, but, between the Cave and then the draw of Abundant Growth and Manamorphous, and Unearth, you can always cycle that. It rarely has color issues, and I truly mean that. You will have, just like any deck will, you will have issues of like, God, where are all these lands coming from? Or the opposite, gosh, one more land and I got this. But 18 feels really good, and it's nice outside of the Garden. Before I had Garden, everything comes into play untapped, but Garden's a necessary evil. So, I mean, look at this. We've got plenty of fixing. Critics would say, though, where's the meat? But two of the fixes that aren't in traditional effect draw a card, so we go find it. So we'll be all right. And against a deck that comes into play tapped, a lot of times I'm tempted to just lead off with that just because it might cost him a tempo play. Depends what we see here. I mean, with only one creature, now we've got a real good creature, so I am going to do this. What's neat about this list, it tends to do really good against tournament decks, but a lot of obviously mono black lists or just kind of other rogue lists, it hasn't been doing all that great. I mean, I'll have like 1-2 losses and stuff like that, but I've taken it out to probably a dozen 3-2s. It doesn't tend to do much better than that. But when it does beat people in the tournament rooms, it's usually obviously Tron and Jeskai and stuff, because I've slanted the board to be so hate-driven against that. But, you run into that Pestilence build or something, and it's just like, nighty-night. So, got to be careful here. We drew this, which is awesome, but they have all white creatures, and this doesn't have evasion. So, before I get too crazy, I'm just going to drop here. Maybe we can find some Seal or a Rancor. We only got the one, but I mean, we can keep blessing up. I love having blessing as we're enchanting something, so we can really fall back on it. But we'll just go from here and be all set. Not bad for an Infect deck to be up on cards, right? Already drawn one, about to draw two more. There's the man. All right. Not too much red-based removal so far. Really expecting a lot more. All right. So here's the scenario. Let's say we had Astrolabe out. I guess, it still works. There are some scenarios where it's a little different without like Cave of Temptation and such, where you can achieve this. But what's cool is we're able to get out our Blighted Agent under the guise. So hold on a minute. We're going to go like this. I'm going to add blue right now because you can screw these things up. We'll say this and this. I'm going to say white, green. I'll say white, green. Cool. We'll play this, making sure to tap on green because we have our mask. And here we go. Poink. And I think I'll just happily run right into that Seeker. That's probably better on block. But I'm sure he's got like a lightning bolt for it. So instead of taking 3 and losing our creature, we'll make his permanently weaker. And at least make his lightning bolt have to aim at us, which I'm okay with. Now you see the Reckless Charge. Yeah, we can put it on Ichorclaw, but there's a lot of scenarios where that can feel a little clunky when you're running Mask of Law and Grace. So, word to the wise. Word to the wary? What's that word? Never mind. See, I have no idea. Feeling light. I've got a bunch of clothes that used to be way too tight around the waist, and now I need like a belt with some stuff on them. So I'm feeling really good. Good times. I'm not missing booze at all. Like I said, I mostly stopped just because of blood pressure concerns. Not that it was crazy high, but it was up there. And it was like, hey, you know what? What if I spoke to that? Because it always, you always hear, oh, glass of wine, relax. And it's, you always think like, hey, shouldn't that lower your blood pressure? But being the chemistry background that he's got and stuff, he kind of explained it very well to a idiot of science like me, where he was just like, well, you're depriving the brain cells or blood cells of oxygen, and so your blood's like, hey, I need some more, and so it ups your heart rate. And that was kind of the barbaric simplification of it. I was like, oh wow, never thought of it that way. Very cool. All right, we have this and this. What's really cool is Cave of Temptation. I just really want to draw another land. I want to draw anything right now. Let's see. I've got every color. Got white. Red would be kind of cool. Let's do red-green. Okay. Well, I can at least cast this and protect it. I'll attack here. Man, my Seal of Strengths have just been hiding. So have Vines. Game would be over if we had Vines over Blessing, but hey, you got to keep your protection where you can get it. All right. But yeah, I've been mixing in also Monday through Friday incredible amounts of intermittent fasting. I just have a little bit of good hearty breakfast with some multivitamin, and then work all day, and then at about 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon I have a really, really big healthy salad, and that's it. By the time I get home, traffic and all, I'm not that hungry, and I go to bed and wake up, do it again. Which is kind of a nice workaround for not being able to hit the gym as much. Less calories in, more calories out. Definitely nice to have set your timer at work and, do some stretches and stuff. You can get kind of sedentary a little bit too much that way. All right, so I'm going to block that Seeker here. He's tapped out, so I'm just going to call this here. Might as well not lose any mana here. We'll call white. That'll kill the Seeker at the end of the turn. Unless he's got... Where's he got? Gut shot here? I'd feel really dumb if that happened. We'll block here. Prevent 2. Seeker's dead. And here we go. Woo! Okay, well, do we have the win here? No. Wait, we might. Hold on. That's frustrating. Yeah, I could pop that. I could Reckless Charge, then give it protection from white. That's a pretty good play. Let's do this. Yeah, we could do it again. See if this wasn't here. I mean, the only reason this is alive is because of this, but you could see how we can just flash this back. 1 more mana, and this is a permanent 3/3 too. So that always feels good, but we might as well just use this for what we got it for here. We'll just put this on here and not use our life. That's always nice too. Just like last game with the Vault Skirge, playing a black deck, it's kind of nice to just be able to go in honestly. I don't know how else to say that, but looks like we're going to 2-0 Boros aggro here, which is... Sometimes that happens. A lot of times it's a 2-1. But, between Abundant Growth, Cave, Manamorphous, you can keep going. And like what I was saying earlier about Astrolabe, makes you go, oh, what about this? And it's like, well, Manamorphous was always there. So this deck was always there. And I'm a little ashamed of myself for not at least stirring this up. Took Snowlands to come up with it. In fact, I had to rename it because I had it called Infected Snow, if you remember. But of all the snow-covered lands, the forests, at least the new reprints, were my least favorite. They just kind of looked like men's urinal stall color. There's a quality to that light in those bits of art that was just very unappealing. And I just love going back to these Avon goodies. So they're just dead next turn. unless they're able to like discard a prismatic to turn off the agent. I'm curious. We haven't really seen much removal. I mean, we've got the answers for it if it did show up, so it's a good scenario for them. But usually, you've seen like 2 or 3 lightning bolts or galvanic blast by now. Hey, man, the chat's awfully quiet, guys. I want to make sure my feed didn't drop, and I'm just playing in the dark here. So, say something if you will. I know it's Saturday, and there's a lot of stream choices out there. As always, thank you for joining us. Me. Let's do this to this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Temptation achieved. Let's rock. Sound is good. All right, still here. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a really, really fun little deck. I think I'm going to play one more with it, and then call it a show, I believe. All right, so that's finally a 2-0, right? Go over the list here real quick. I'm going to take another restroom break, and then we'll be back. And there's quite a few things I could play. I've got geared up. One of our fans out there wants us to try this miracle, so we're tweaking it as we go. Might be able to actually play a tournament next week. Warn them, hey, the results might vary due to ghosting and such. But so the big notes, if you do want to string this up. We lost the Astrolabe and the Snowlands for beautiful lands, and Metamorphosis. Like I said, this being able to give you 2 of anything is very, very, very paramount. So really, the curve's nice and low. If you're playing against a lot of mono black, obviously you can swap out a garden for another forest. But other than that, yeah, it's a very honest infect list, and it really punishes people for because of Reckless Charge and Unearth for playing those turns where it's like, okay, kill the infect creature, okay, now I'm going to spend my turn building up everything, and then oops, I'm dead. It's a fun little trick there. So anyway, guys, let's see if I can remember how to do this. It's been a while. I'm going to roll to a commercial. I'll be back right after this.
I can answer any question you have. I'm Wiki Bear.
This is great. Okay, here's a question, Wiki Bear. What's the longest street in America?
Checking now. Got it. That title belongs to Colfax Avenue in Colorado, over 26 miles long. Yay!
No, that's great. That was really cool that he came up with that.
Yeah. And speaking of long streets, Civil War General James Longstreet was partially responsible for over 10,000 Confederate casualties during the Battle of Antietam, the bloodiest single-day battle in American history. What a bloodbath! I'm Wiki Bear.
Yeah, there were a lot of terrible fatalities in the Civil War.
Imagine ditches filled with dead horses.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try another question. What's the fastest animal on land?
The fastest land animal is the cheetah. It can reach speeds up to 75 miles per hour.
See? That was great information really fast.
Yeah.
But it's still not fast enough to outrun Jack the Ripper. The notorious 19th century British serial killer who murdered at least 5 prostitutes, lickety-split.
He was a terrible killer, Jack the Ripper, yeah.
And he was never caught or punished. What a clever fellow, yay!
I don't know if yay is the right sentiment.
Yay!
No! Jack the Ripper got away, that's terrible.
Well, some think he was a member of the royal family and some strings were pulled.
You know, you,
Sound like a beetle there.
Yeah, you're sort of starting to ad-lib there, Wiki Bear.
It's been part of my programming.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm going to keep trying here. You'd think I'd give up at this point,
You
but
sure?
Yeah. How long did it take the first American astronauts to reach the moon, Wiki Bear?
It took just 4 days for Apollo 11 to reach the moon.
He's exactly right. I knew that one.
That's much less time than it took the Donner Party to travel from Missouri to California. But unlike the Donner Party, those astronauts didn't resort to cannibalism. I'm Wiki Bear.
Yeah, no one wants to hear about the Donner Party, okay?
One member of the party went so mad from hunger he ripped off his clothes and ran screaming into the woods. He was the first one eaten.
Okay.
What a bizarre and easily preventable tragedy, yay!
Let's try something kid-friendly. How many people visit Disneyland each year?
Mickey Mouse greets almost 16 million visitors a year.
You can't do anything with that, right? That's a lot of people.
Yes, but that's a drop in the bucket compared to the 200 million people who were killed by the bubonic plague.
For God's sake. Why are you bringing up the plague? I talked about Mickey Mouse.
Well, the plague was spread by rats, Mickey Mouse's cousins. But here's one question Wikipedia can't answer. What kind of god would allow that to happen?
Okay, all right.
Prismatic Lenses welcomes you to a place you can see magic happen. Utilizing Urz's blueprints, the pieces of the puzzle come together with a quality that is second to none. From our patented millstone polishing technique to our dignified use of stonehorn, our lenses bend both light and mana. First exams are free. Prismatic Lenses.
And we're back. All right. Well, I was going to play the other one, and then I figured, hey, let me show you another thing I've been brewing up at least 2 weeks ago. And I was like, hey, I forgot about this because of this underlying trick, Shiraz. Remember that? Yeah. Telekinesis. I'm not quite sure, Ruben G. Korn. Good to hear from you, though. Maybe somebody can look that up. So this is a Midnight Combo. I made the deck Rallygond that Methodical took to a lot of victories, and I took the red out of this attempt just to try to get a super consistent Splinter Twin vibe via the presence of the Midnight Guard combo. It's prevent on if it's a common, I believe it's in. So this one runs 19 lands. We've got 3 barons, I believe. What is this? 6 forests, 7 plains, and this sanctuaries. Later, mid to late game, if things aren't going your way, you cast Sense Enlistment. But over the Battle Screech and the charge of Rally the Peasants, we're running for super consistency and protecting our combo. So we've got 2 Standard Bearers main and the Bodyguard combo. We have the Abundant Growth for fixing and Vessel of Nascency, which is really, really, really cool in this list. Really like it. We have 1 Solitary Font of Return. It's a late game card, so we don't mind waiting forever for it. I was trying to fix my mana a lot more and found out this is okay with just one of these. The only other black in the deck is Traceable Harsh Sustenance against like Tron and such, where you can't really swing because they're fogging you to death. So another late game card. So little greedy. Honestly, if I was going in a tournament, I might try running this list by Methodical or somebody of the Mana Persuasion Genius link and see if I can maybe up my percentage a tiny bit more. But for right now, I'm really liking it. Anyway, we've got 4 communes too. There are only 2 Chalmano's Blessings in this, yet more creature protection, and oftentimes you can throw it on a Suture Priest because of all the blinking in the format and Ephemerate and Glowsley Flicker. If you can protect this, even with the likes of Game 1 against Tron or and such, you can really lock some people out. So we have 3 Suture Priests. Why? Because we have a lot of tokens. It can help us gain life. We've got Prismatic Strands. All our creatures are green, except for the ones that we make an infinite amount of. How do we do that? Well, we throw this on this if you're new to it, and every time you tap this, it makes a creature. When a creature comes into play, it untaps, and so on. This is our little catch-all. When we throw things in the graveyard, we can go get stuff back, including the Vessel of Nascency or parts of our combo. And like I said, I was running around with the option of running, oh, come on, brain, work. I got enough caffeine in it to fuel a small village. I'm surprised. Benefaction of Ronus, if you could bring that up, Shiraz, if you're there or on a smoke break, hopefully not. Very cool card. A little too late, even though it gives you a lot. I just found out that Vessel of Nascency, that early pitch, and this is skewed towards, pretty aggressive decks. Oh, look at that. He's in the house. All right. So in the sideboard, because of this kind of search engine for our creatures and such, we've got this, we've got an Oblivion Ring catch-all, Harsh Sustenance. The least organic in the list is probably the Relics and the Last Breath. You can tell just from the sideboard, this deck has a problem with Tron. So between the fairies, Harsh Sustenance, this can grab exile problem cards like Memnonic Wall or the Archaeomancer and such, and then we can draw extras here. So yeah, we got 2 Oblivion Rings. Main is kind of our other catch-all there, but so we'll give this a try, and hopefully I don't die from what do you call arthritis of the mouse, because these can be very click-intensive decks. So we'll minimize this and see. Shiraz, pay close attention. Underscore, 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 underscore. That's why they're showing up at the top here. And as things get less and less important, I stop underscoring them, and then it just goes alphabetized from there. So if you're wondering why I do that, it's a nice little system. You might want to try it. What list was I talking about? I've got different versions of this. Okay, Midnight Combo. All right. So I'll change the deck to the underscore Midnight Combo. And this will be the last of our matches for a Saturday show, being the first. We'll join, see who we go up against here. But thank you for joining us on our new date and time. It's going to be Saturdays from now on, and at this time, like I said, tonight's daylight savings time, so that's a whole nother can of worms, but we'll approach that as it happens. All right, we've got protection, we've got our stuff. A little clunky on the green department, but we do have a combo with protection, so we'll keep this. Sometimes, it just happens too. All right. Looks like we're going to have plenty of counters happening here too. So let's lead off with the bodyguard, protect our priest, do a little red herring 1, 2, 3, and maybe we can provide a semblance of a strategy here. It's funny how often I'm looking for that faithless looting mechanic, and I go back and I'm like, oh, that's right, I already built that deck. Trying to see if there's anything here in solidifying it, or streamlining it. Those are the words I'm looking for. Okay, they have no ninjas. Probably sitting back on a spell stutter, waiting to hit the goods here. Yeah, I think it's worth attacking. We're trying to kill him anyway. We're not on Infect anymore. We're all about this thing called the life total. Can't block a ninja if it does come through, so if we eat a sprite, that's okay. Bring this down, play this, return this, and there we go. One other thing I like about Vessel in this kind of matchup too, we'll be able to drop the priest, kind of. We'll have more information in a turn or two here. Okay, snow cover just because, I guess. I'm expecting the red to drop any minute now, unless they're just holding a scred in the mountain. What I mean by that is, assuming that they're on some sort of counter magic, whether it's sprite or counterspell, we can drop the priest here, float that green, and our real... Well, you know what? That isn't our real threat, is it? We kind of want the priest to show up. So what I'm going to do here is drop this first. Probably should have attacked there. See what they have. All right, well, that sticks. Well, let's see. That's probably going to get countered. But it's fine because this is the thing we really want to have hit. And we've got quite a bit of protection here. All right. Well, hey, there's no spell stutter sprite, so that feels pretty good. They're like, what on earth is going on here? But if they know my moniker, they're probably just rolling their eyes going, oh, another one of his cookie builds. That's what I'm all about, people. Coffee and cookie builds. All right. Well, here's another problem card. Honestly, if I could have waved my wand, I know I was very public about it, I would have gotten rid of Ephemerate, Ghostly Flicker, and Mystic Sanctuary, even when it was only out for about a week. I think as the weeks and months go on, it's going to be a very unfriendly format overall. Yes, there's ways to beat it and such, but my goodness. All right. Well, I can't really do much until that shows up. In the meantime, we can just win the war here. It really is. And I know a lot of... never want to come across as like whiny or anything. I mean, there's ways around things, but it's just... well, I've spoken at that point ad nauseum. It's one of the main reasons I'm not, playing any leagues anymore. Obviously, personal life, new job, all that stuff don't have as much time right now. But Even if I did, I think I'd be really kind of against that. You know what? I'm going to do this now. We don't need this. So hopefully I can just draw out a counter. Because I really want this to land. Keep them from drawing lands. Alright, we'll call blue. And we know they're on a counter spell here. Well, let's do that. I'd love for them to counter this. We could sneak out the guard. 2/3 is nothing to sneeze at, especially against a ninja deck. Alright. We have that, don't we? Let's fill up our yard. Doink. Suture Priest is nice. This is such a burly... This card's cool. Put an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. It's like, my goodness. Alright. I like the priest. Vessel's a big no-no. I already got the bodyguard. This is just a no-brainer. I've got to put the Suture Priest in my hand. I just wish we could feign out a counterspell there. I'm going to try to draw the counterspell there. I don't know if it's worth it or not. Double block the ninja, trip the counter. Regardless, it's going to kill the ninja. We might lose both our bodyguards. That's a counterspell. That's 1, 2 to our 2.5 cards. It's tough to count Prismatic when it's in the yard already as a card, but just knowing that they've got a counterspell and we're on combo, it's a tough decision. Yeah, the cottage is just fair. Pretty hard to infinitely loop 8, but being able to tell somebody's deck no every turn is pretty outrageous. So we really want to land here. That's the other thing I was thinking of grabbing with that. Been running A-Bomb again, so I'm happy. What are you talking about, Shiraz? I'm not quite sure. A-Bomb? Is that a deck type, or am I just misreading that? All right, well, let's play something we don't really care about then. Oh, Twisted Abomination. I get it. Okay. Let's play this. So you got another fairy? Nope. Hard counter shows up. That's fine. I mean, we didn't really need this. Just sit back and... Hopefully they're not on another Sanctuary. That seemed a little bit of a hasty counterspell there. I mean, I guess you could argue that he doesn't want the ninja to die to an exchange, but we'll see. Twisted Abomination and Angler, it's like, yeah, they're awesome. I'd actually side with you there, Shiraz, and the flexibility of being able to go fetch a land, and especially a cottage at that point. A lot of people don't catch that. Like island cycling, I'm surprised nobody's really kind of made some sort of lockdown with that. We can just go get it. All right. Well, we've got our protection now. Double protection. Unless a Sanctuary drops here and it goes grabs another. Okay. Oh, darn it. All right. Well, we're getting little mosquito nibbles. Should be all right though. Let's play this. See what it does. Another hard counter. Okay. I'm actually going to favor this. We do need one more land to really kind of go crazy here. All right. Double protection. We've got this. We've got some time. Got 3 Fae on board. Prismatics in our yard. Would have been really nice to draw a land there. Darn it. This is going to be some more. Oh. Finally got a message from Litterfight. He's at work today, so... What's the point of making the show Saturday if he's at work on a Saturday? What's going on? Alright, here we are. One card. Let's see if we get it. I'll try it. We don't have that much time left. Hey. Well, that's part of the puzzle. 2, 4, 6. You know what? We're just, even if our combo works, we're kind of dead if we don't trip that strands here. So that's 6 and 6. Last time I looked, that equals 12. All right. We'll tap this for blue. Trying to stay alive. Just go from here. No ninjas for you. 1 card left. 2 counters in the yard. Crunch time. Well, we've got double gone. Let's see if we can live. Oh, it might be a little overkill here, but hey, there's a lot of spells running about. Okay, so darn it. Next turn we're going to have to be a wee bit careful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have to... not quite sure if Oblivion Ring onto the Golem, with the Prismatic Strands. We just need a land. It's really coming back to bite us. We didn't grab this beautiful land by Therese Nelson when we cracked our vessel for the Suture Priest. But hey, they'd still have a counterspell in hand if not for that play. Makes for an interesting list, though. I don't know about you. I mean, I do miss playing tournaments live when the format's fair, which it isn't right now. But outside of that, it is neat to showcase 2 or 3 decks with each show. I think it's serving a general purpose better as far as just kind of the brew community and kind of getting new ideas out there. Not to say we'll never play. I mean, if like I said, next week, what sort of treachery is this? Oh, he's snapping his own dude. Okay. Not to say it's never going to happen. It's just not a smart play right now. I warn people that want to fund outings of this, and sometimes they still want to throw down, which is cool. 2, 4, 6, 7. All right, we're dead next turn if we. I'm a dumbass. Was that a sprite that was returned? I wasn't even paying attention. I was sitting here chatting. Almost doesn't matter because we can't. We're going to have to play. Thank you. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Next turn would be kind of cool. Now, Suture Priest here would save the day because we'd be able to stay alive. Well, I need that, and I need that. I guess we can throw out a standard bear. That Midnight Guard's feeling very protected. I guess I can attack. Yeah, let's do that. Get in 3 here. It's a nail biter. 1 more Spire Golem and we're our dead meat. Love about Prismatic. Counter. Okay. Play it again. Sometimes they have another one. How good would Bodyguard be if it could target anything? Oh my goodness. Dare to say it would almost balance the format. Wink. Okay, let's block first. Boom. Boom. Hit okay. We really need a Suture Priest draw because that will help us gain life. Otherwise, we can make 1,000 tokens, but we're dead next turn in the air, so. If this doesn't get countered, we might be able to survive. No, Spire Golem's going to get us. Land Oblivion Ring. Presence. Actually, Presence might be a good draw out there. Is he bouncing that? He's bouncing the Standard Bearer. So we'll say no. Call blue on that. Yeah, Vapor Snag does kill us, you're right. I'll say blue. No untap for you. Clicking nice and slow. Call blue. I know they give blue, obviously, they deserve the best bounce spell, but then they make it lose life, not do damage. It's like, come on. Does blue have to have everything? Did I already call blue? Yes. God. This one coffee can be a drawback. You're just like, is this 3 turns from now? All right. Come on, Suture Priest. No. Well, we've got that and that, so we can technically do this. The more important of the 2 plays. Grab this. Okay. And we'll go for it now. Boop. It's quite a bit of protection. He's like the Secret Service over here. I'm just going to do this now. Generate a bunch of stuff. It'd be funny if we survive with 1 life. Like I said, or Shirazman said, 1 Vapor Snag away. I mean, if they had it, they'd play it. I'd almost be on tilt if they did it now. It's not like we're playing for anything, but still, it's just, that's almost like rude. It's like, you're just wasting both of our times. And if you know we're streaming, that's all everybody watching too. So, not going to go too overboard. This is a good example of real life. Like, Tortured Existence is a great deck, but not online. Tron's a insane deck, but online it's just very, 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 very good. And it's because of things like this. You, in real life, tabletop Magic, you show the combo, and then I would say 40,000 tokens. There's times you don't want to do that, actually. I get it up to 5, so we can just swing with everything in case they play a creature and block. Uno mas. Here we go, and we're good. Yeah, I'll attack. And I'm going to trip Prismatic right before they draw. Any counter here, and we're screwed. We're screwed. All these creatures, and it's not enough. All right, they're going to fly over our head and kill us. We're going to concede now. Right on the edge there. First game down. It's all right. We'll bring in Spider Silk Armor and company. 1 turn away there. Alrighty. A lot of this don't do nothing. I'm going to bring in this and this. I'm going to lose an Oromancer and a Strands. Not the most aggressive deck. Seeing Spire Golem come back. I like the rings for that. I think we'll just keep it like that. And hope for the best. Whoop, here we go. Yeah, it was a pretty fun game. It was right down to the wire. It was kind of like a, I've got the win. Do you got the counter win? They do. Okay, game 2. That's how it goes. I did a bunch of spring cleaning digitally with my Avid and Final Cut, or not Final Cut. I always say that, Premiere Pro systems. And about an hour before the show, I was like, oh my God, where'd my intro go? Because the new date and time. So I threw out like 2 gigs of like show intros that had the old date and time on it. Because I'm like, well, I'm not going to be using those. Might as well free up some room. And I got a little too overzealous and got rid of everything. So at the last second, I was like, oh, wait, I still need the silly show intro. So, yuck. Man, this never happens. I'm going to mulligan this. All right, we'll keep this. Not the best hand, but what are you going to do? Crashing Drawbridge. Nah. Only want to draw that when you've already won or you already have the combo, which is deck building no for me. I will keep this. I'll throw this in the yard. Not in the yard, but put it back so we can draw it later. All right. Saratobu in the house. All right. Yeah, there's a... Remind me, I wanted to talk about... Let me write this down so I don't end the show. I'll talk about it in a minute. The problem is my darn keyboard. I've got to... Hey, this is like... Almost looks like we know what we're doing. We'll drop Vessel. Bounce Sanctuary. Be good to go. Man, I still need some help in this list. I always feel like I need more white sources, but you also want early green sources. Yeah, I'm not so far. I see the upside of the crashing drawbridge or whatever it's called, but it's just there's only so many spots in a deck, and I think a lot of that new card smell. A lot of times, in the scenario you suggested, it's like you're gonna win even without it if that happens. So I'm sure it belongs in some list out there, but I haven't seen it, nor have I really done my usual studying as of late. What's funny is, for the maybe one or two of you out there that are going to even understand this sentence, I edit on Avid, like professionally, and then I use Premiere Pro for Pauperganda and home projects, and sometimes professionally, but mostly Avid. But I'd been away from it for about a year and a half, and I, just like with guitar, if you don't know, I have 2 albums out. Anyway, just like guitar, sometimes you'll forget a song and you think about it and you can't do it. But then if you just put your mind somewhere else, I believe it's the Japanese culture has a phrase called sinen no maki, which means the mind of no mind. Whereas you can think about something until you, like a candle's flame, until you realize you're not thinking about it. Like it's forced meditation for the Western mind sort of thing. What I'm getting at is, you can do that with guitar parts you forgot because you played them for so long in coffee shops and whatnot, and you just all of a sudden you do it and then you pay attention to your hand. I was doing the same thing with editing where I'm like, gosh darn it, what? So I just would think of an edit and then I'd see where my left hand would go and then I'd have to map my keys accordingly. And about 20-30 minutes into it, I was back to my usual speedy self, but it was interesting for a bit there. All right, that was a whole lot about nothing. Let's drop this and then another Vessel. And Auramancer is going to be doing some work. All right. Belcher Mage. Man, it's been a while. Good to see you. Hopefully this new Saturday time frame will keep you in our chat and in our hearts. Won't lie. Less noise pollution now, being that the winter months are upon us. Don't have the windows all open. I've had that switching to the Devrock keyboard layout. Huh? Oh yeah, that's the what is it, QWERTY or no, that's the symbol. It's the keyboard the language that makes more sense for the English language as far as how the keys are laid out. Am I getting that right, Saratubu? That's right. Forgot all about that. Boy, we got a lot of things that we really want to have hit, don't we? Let me bring out this as almost a Mother May I counterspell bait, because we can float 2 for either the commune or for tripping nascency here. All right. Well, we're going to say always yes, always yield. And you never want to attack with this unless they're completely tapped out. We've got our bodyguard online. That feels pretty good. At this stage of the game, I'd actually rather trip this. Can't counter that, sucker. All right. Well, there's part of our combo, but I've learned my lesson a few times here. I'm actually going to grab the land, play it, and even though we have bodyguard back up, I'm not attacking here. Oh, Belchmage, our Pauper 1K went great. Can't wait to announce the cool stuff I have planned for next year. The professor had a great time. We got to get you guys out here for one soon. Yeah, no kidding. No, that's All right. I think we're going to run right into a snap here, but I don't want this thing to hit, so we'll just do this and say blue. Coral Net brings me back. Yeah, that, all right, W Hobbies, if memory serves. Is that correct, Belcher Mage? Yeah, you guys are doing it up right. You guys and the Bellingham crew up in Seattle, man, just a perfect example of a Pauper community coming together, doing what works. It's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful to see. All right, so I can trip the vessel, drop a land, and what? We're gaining plenty of life here. I really want that Spider Silk to hit, so I don't really want to go crazy until I've got 6 mana, because I'm going to have to ask for kind of a double counterspell. Mother May I play here. Wow, 147 players. Very nice. All right. And that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's where Pop It Like It's Hot, the podcast, is streamed from, correct? There's so many podcasts anymore. I've been bugged about mine. I'm telling you guys, I'm rarely doing it. It might be 4 times a year. It's just when I go on a long walk and I got something to say. I'm not going to try to come up with content, especially doing Pauperganda 2. When it's appropriate, I will do it with my heavy breathing and traffic noises. All right, what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to play Magic. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to pop the vessel, maybe grab a land again. There's another Midnight Guard. At this stage, I'm tempted to grab that Midnight Guard, but I'm not gonna. I'm still gonna draw a land, implying that we already have one in our hand. I'm gonna drop this dude, who's not very important, but he might grab a counterspell. Hoping that we turned over. That's fine. I actually really like that. Very cool with that happening. And this time I will attack. There is one Azorius blue flash creature that could have spelled the end there, but all right. And back comes counterspell. Gotta get our mana right. All right. Oh, come on. I already said this. Let's go. But I'll let you guys in after this game, win, lose, or draw, on a little tech that I've been thinking about. Not sure. It's probably not the next best thing. I mean, most things aren't. All right. A lot of our combos here now. But it definitely gets the gears going. Really want to turn over one of our 3 left prismatic strands. I know we took one out for the sideboarding purposes. Let me play something I don't really care about here. Got a Faerie Macabre or something. Oh, that's awesome. Good times. Because I will gladly stick this. That worked out good. A little counter happy, I believe. I don't think a Standard Bearer is going to do too much. Turn off everything but the ninja there. One more land. Maybe a forest would be pretty cool. We'll see. But yeah, like the RIW Hobbies. That's Michigan. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong. But one of the things I've said, I got an interview a few months ago. I forget what it was for, but the guys up in the MTG Bellingham crew, very cool, because one of them just invested in every Pauper deck and then just left them at the store to promote the format. So if you're listening out there and you have a paper table scene and you want that culture to be kind of innovated, it's not going to happen right away, but you get people, hey, just show up. Maybe they turn in their car keys for the 75, and then at the end of the thing, they put them back, and they've always got something to play with. So, hey, Belcher, yeah. Wondrous what lots of coffee will do to the brain cells, right? All right, let's try this. Probably going to walk right into another counter. And I'm fine if we turn over just about anything, really. Creature or enchantment. Well, we really need our third and fourth Midnight Guard to show up. And we get countered. That's cool. We'll try it again. We're getting hard counters out of this deal. Settle for a bodyguard here with the one floater. Let's see what we're going to get. Boy, dude's counter heavy, ain't he? I would be too with a deprive pull. I think we're kind of locked out here. Even in a deck that's not hell-bent on abusing the Sanctuary, this scenario can happen. One of the 3 cards, I'm sure I'm not popular at RIW Hobby for thinking that, but I could care less about Astrolabe. I wanted Ephemerate, Flicker, and that beast gone. Since the months roll on, I believe you're going to find out that I was correct on that. Could be wrong. Played a couple, probably 100,000 Pauper games. I think I know a little bit. And as time goes on, lists solidify and such, these things get redonkulous. Well, there's no sense. I might as well thin out my deck here. Yeah, it's just that endless debate, but I ain't never had an Astrolabe beat me. Giving decks ammo to keep up with those crazy combos, not take it away. A lot of different arguments, most of which are all valid too. Time will tell, but repeatedly getting back your very best card that shuts somebody out of a game and putting it on a land too. It's like, good luck countering that. All right, let's block this. Majority of the arguments I hear too, I don't want to say they're uneducated, but they're not in the trenches, or they're in their local store and they don't see the hell saws day after day and such. You can throw everything in the kitchen sink at a list and it's still often not enough. So remember that time when WTC tried to ban Storm out of the format, and the result, Storm became 50% of the format before it was like 15%. So let's play this as a countermeasure. If I get countered, I would have to play Gond here just to try to stay alive. Yeah, but they've got Deprive on top of that. I was hoping to see Deprive there. At least this will... It was funny we didn't... I mean, I took 1 Prismatic out. We still have 3. We're almost halfway through our deck, and we don't have any against an all-blue deck. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, this... with Deprive is just brutal. It's like you can't really force them to over counter here because they're just going to get it right back. It's a soft lock in this. It's a hard lock in a lot of other ones, but I'll tell you what it is. It's not very fun to go against. And we're almost dead. It would be a pretty competitive game if I could get 1 spell off. Because we could at least be generating a few life a turn and maybe doing some double blocks with stuff. But as it is, their card quality is going up. They keep getting counterspell back thanks to Sanctuary, and we're out of it. So that'll do it here. I'm just going to quit here. And we're going to go to, I believe it was Ichor something is the card I wanted to show you, because it's a neat thing that has happened in the last few weeks. Have you guys seen this? Whenever you do this, it always takes like, it seems like 2 minutes. It just lays on the screen. It's like, okay, gotcha. All right. Now, I would type it, but it'll screw me up. Let me see. Maybe I can. ICH? Will that show up? Yikes. Hopefully I don't lose the feed. Let me make sure I'm monitoring myself here. Check, check. All right. So I believe, should have had this prepped and ready for you though. There's the Wellspring. Is this it? I believe this is it. Yeah. This dude's pretty cool. Why, you might ask? Well, I was thinking of making a kind of, your kill all deck. Fountain of Ichor is pretty interesting with like Edict effects and Innocent Blood, and then you also have the Guardian. What is it? The Guardian statue. It gives you mana, or you can turn it into a 2/2. I just think there might be some sort of cool little control black deck that you can run where when the coast is clear, maybe you've just made them discard everything, you can start attacking with things like this. So yeah, it's a little bit like Guardian Idol. Oh yeah, Guardian Idol, duh. I was thinking of Chimeric Idol way back in the day with Prophecy and stuff, where that was just, you activate it with, I think it was untapped lands or something like that. But I think there's something here because, yeah, you're paying 3, but you immediately get 1 mana of any color, so it's a really expensive Bird of Paradise. And then, a 3/3 in Pauper, I mean, I don't have to tell any of you in the chat, how this format's ruled by 1/1s and 2/2s. 3/3's pretty epic, and being able to make insta creatures, pretty cool. So I think that with Guardian Idol, maybe in like maybe you've got Chittering Rats or just an engine across Evan Carr's Justice with, full set of Edicts and Innocent Blood. There's your start. You only got about 10 or 15 more cards to fill in the blanks. Who knows? Maybe there's something there. I know I've been meaning to tweak on it, but maybe you guys can beat me to the punch on that. So that being said, this is the end of our show for this week at our new time on Saturdays, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And unfortunately, because I live in America, we have daylight savings time. So there'll be more confusion next week. But moving forward, this is going to be kind of our new home here. And yeah, pristine talismans will keep you in the race, but make no mistake. So I'll have a list of 1 or 2 of these lists up on our YouTube link under the show notes there. And as always, thanks for joining me. And on this new time Saturdays, a little clogged in the Twitchiverse. I know a lot of pro tours and stuff happen on Saturdays, but seems to be what's going to work best moving forward. So we'll see you all next time on Pauperganda. Keep it, keep it friendly. We'll see you next week, guys. Adios.